All right, this is Professor Peldon. This is Algebra 2, Chapter 7, Section 5. We're still solving rational equations. These equations still have multiple terms on both sides. We still need the LCD. The difference being is some of these will have extraneous solutions, which you should always check for, and regardless of the problem, it's not going to tell you if there are or not. By plugging them back in. The prior sections, if you plug the numbers back in, they always worked. In this section, that might not always be true, but the same steps are still true, other than the final step of checking it, which might have extraneous outcomes. So, first step is to make sure you factor completely. So x minus 3 is factored completely. 8x squared, the x squared minus 9 is not factored completely. That is x minus 3 and x plus 3 minus 4 over x plus 3. Because remember, this is really 1x squared plus 0x minus 9. So the factors of negative 9 are positive 3 and negative 3. That give me that 0 middle term. Okay, so lowest common denominator, they have an x minus 3 in common and an x plus 3 in common, but there's nothing left over after those. So I'm going to shift this over to the right a little bit. So I have 6 over x minus 3 equals 8x squared over x minus 3, x plus 3, minus 4x over x plus 3. And we'll put the brackets in. Multiply the left side by the lowest common denominator. And multiply the right side by the lowest common denominator. So we get 6 times x minus 3, x plus 3 over x minus 3 equals 8x squared times x minus 3 times x plus 3 over x minus 3 times x plus 3, right? Because that has to go to there and there. So minus 4x times x minus 3, x plus 3 over x plus 3. Okay, starting on the left-hand side, the x minus 3's cancel. So left with 6 times x plus 3 equals, cancel, 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 8x squared. That's it. Next one, the x plus 3's cancel. So left with negative 4 x times x minus 3. Okay, so I think we're good so far. So we'll do some distribution. So you have 6x plus 18 equals 8x squared minus 4x squared plus 12x. Okay, so we'll go to the right-hand side over here. So we get 6x plus 18 equals, let's see, 8 minus 4 is going to give me 4x squared plus 12x. So now we're going to move the 6 over and the 18 over. So we can do our factoring, get it all to one side. So 0 equals 4x squared plus 6x minus 18. We can factor from here, but we might as well make it easier for ourselves by factoring out a common 2. So it's 2 times 2x squared plus 3x minus 9. So we can do our factoring now. So it's 2x times 2x over 2. 2 times negative 9 is negative 18, which is 1 times 18. 2 times 9, 3 times 6. But one of them needs to be negative, either the first one or the second one. So in this case, we need a positive 3. So that looks like negative 3, positive 6 will do it for us. All right, the 2's will cancel. So 2x minus 3 equals 0. And 2x plus 6 equals 0. So if I add 3, 2x equals 3, or x equals 3 halves, minus 6, 2x equals negative 6, divide by 2, x is negative 3. Okay, again, just like we did in prior sections, plug them in to make sure. If you plug back into 3 halves, it will work. That is a solution. However, if you plug in the negative 3, this is a problem. That will give you 0. You can't have 0 in the denominator. So that is not a solution. That is extraneous. Kind of jumped there. That is not a solution. All right, pause the video. Try the 2 student problems. Okay, so we're going to factor completely. So we have 9 over x minus 2 plus 6x over x plus 2. Those are both factored completely. And the next one, 9x squared over x minus 2, x plus 2. Because at the end of the day, this is x squared, 1x squared, plus 0x minus 4. Okay, so you have to split that 4 to get 0 into plus 2 minus 2. Okay, so lowest common denominator. They have a common x minus 2 and a common x plus 2. There's nothing left over after you take those out. So we'll shift it over a little bit. So 9 over x minus 2 plus 6x over x plus 2 equals 9x squared over x minus 2, x plus 2. Brackets, 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 brackets. What you do to one side of the equation, you must do to the other. So I'll multiply by the LCD over here and multiply by the LCD over here. Okay. Left-hand side, 9 times x minus 2, x plus 2 over x minus 2, plus 6x times x minus 2, x plus 2 over x plus 2. Right? Because this has to go to the 9 and the 6x. Equals 9x squared times x minus 2, x plus 2 over x minus 2, x plus 2. Okay, x minus 2's cancel, so we're left with 9 times x plus 2. X plus 2's cancel, so we're left with 6x and x minus 2 equals, so everything on the right-hand side cancels except the original 9x squared. Okay, so we can do some distribution. So we get 9x plus 18 plus 6x squared minus 12x equals 9x. So we combine our like terms here. We'll get what? 6x squared. Let's see, 9x minus 12. So that's going to be what? Minus 3x. And then plus 18 equals 9x squared. So I think we're good so far. So we'll move the right-hand side here. So let's see, 6x squared minus 3x plus 18 equals 9x squared. So I want a leading term that's positive to be able to factor. So I'm going to move all this stuff to the right side. So that gives me 0 equals 3x squared plus 3x minus 18. Better minus 18 than that. Okay. Plus 3. Yep, we're good. Okay, so you have a common factor of 3, which we can divide out. So I'm left with x squared plus 1x minus 6. So 0 equals 3, so we'll factor now. 1x, 1x. You can put the 1 on bottom if you want. Doesn't matter because it's a 1 in this case. So you have 1 times negative 6 is negative 6, which is 1 times 6 or 2 times 3. But one of them has to be negative. And they need to add up to positive 1. So that looks like negative 2 and positive 3. So we get 0 equals 3, 0 equals x minus 2, or 0 equals x plus 3. So that one can't be true. So if I add 2, x is 2, and if I subtract 3, x is negative 3. All right, so if we check the original problem, the negative 3 will work fine. That is a solution. However, if you use the 2, that is going to fail because it'll give you a 0 there. So that is an extraneous solution. Okay? All right, let's try the second student problem. So in this problem, we have a couple different things. One, it's not factored completely. You need to give this one a denominator. So this is 7 over x minus 1. That is, minus not equals, sorry. 5 over 1 equals 6 over x minus 1, x plus 1, because remember what this is. This is 1x squared plus 0x minus 1, right? So we need to break up 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. And the factors of negative 1 are negative 1 and positive 1, hence the two factors. All right. Lowest common denominator. What they have in common is an x minus 1. What's left over is a 1 and an x plus 1. Though we don't really need to use the 1, we'll just kind of ignore it. Okay, so we'll shift this over. So it's 7 over x minus 1 minus 5 over 1 equals 6 over x minus 1, x plus 1. Multiply by the LCD on both sides, which is x minus 1 times x plus 1. And x minus 1, x plus 1. Okay, so we distribute to the 7 and the 5. So we have 7 times x minus 1, x plus 1 over x minus 1, minus 5 times x minus 1, x plus 1 all over 1, and equals 6 x minus 1, x plus 1 over x minus 1, x plus 1. Okay, so in the first one, the x minus 1's cancel. It was with 7 times x plus 1, minus 5 times x minus 1, x minus 1, plus 1. Cancel, 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 cancel. Leaves us with a 6. Okay, so we'll do our distribution, and we get 7x plus 7 minus 5 times x squared. Let's see. Minus 1x plus 1x minus 1 equals 6. So those cancel. So I'm up with 7x plus 7 equals, oh, sorry, not equals, minus. What am I doing? So I distribute the negative 5, I get negative 5x squared plus 5 equals 6. Okay, so I move to the top. What do I really have? I really have negative 5x squared, 7x. And let's see, 5 and 7 give me 12. equals 6. But I need everything on the right-hand side to give a positive leading term, so I'll add 5x squared minus 7x and minus 12. So as a result, I get 0 equals 5x squared minus 7x, and let's see, positive 6 and negative 12 give me a negative 6. So I think I'm good so far. All right, so we'll do some factoring. 5x times 5x is 25x squared. Divided by 5 gives me 5x squared. 5 times negative 6 gives me negative 30. So the factors of negative 30 are 1 times 30, 2 times 15, 3 times 10, 5 times 6, but one of them has to be negative. So I'm going to go with positive 3, negative 10, because those multiply the negative 30, and they add to the negative 7. So that's going to work for me, I think. So the 5x plus 3 has nothing in common other than 1. But the 5 and the 10 have a common factor of 5, which you can divide out. So that cancels. So 5x plus 3 is equal to 0, and x minus 2 is equal to 0. So x is equal to 2, or 5x is equal to negative 3, or x is equal to negative 3/5. So don't assume that there's going to be an extraneous solution. There may not. In this case, both of these work, so there is no extraneous solution. Okay, so the directions will just say solve and assessments. They're not going to say check for extraneous. You should just always do that by plugging them in, and that will happen. So you have either a mix of monomials, polynomials, or a mixture of both, depending on the problems. And that's the end of part 3.